Hi, I'm Dawn. This is Hudson Vintage. Today it is a proper vintage jewelry tutorial on the difference between Victorian and Victorian Revival jewelry. And since it's Friday, I'm sticking with the Friday Finds format, and it's going to be 10 pieces in quick succession. The difference is it's not just pieces from my collection. I've also asked people from my Facebook community to show pieces from their collection, so it's an extra special episode on this, a very special Friday. It is Black Friday, so I will be showing their information at the bottom of the screen. If you're interested in these pieces, check out their collections. And if you're interested in showcasing your collection, then check out the Patreon group. It's really a fun group. It's very knowledgeable. It's very nice. And we are always happy to help each other. And also, if you're just a collector, you can email me at hudsonvintage@me.com and find out how to consign what you have with an episode of your own. You can also email me with any questions that you might have. I'm a vintage jewelry expert, and if you need something evaluated or identified or attributed or authenticated, you can always just email me. Again, hudsonvintage@me.com. Also, before I forget, December's drawing is going to be really special because it's December and it's holiday season and it's the end of the year. I wanted the drawing to be real. So it's diamonds. It still counts as vintage. It's vintage, so probably 2000s or 1990s. That thin gold wire that was so popular. See? That's about 25 points of diamonds. It's 14 karat gold. So if you're interested in entering the drawing for this, the link is in the description box below. It's the Patreon group. The first piece is from my collection. It's a watch fob chain, and I chose to show this first because coming up from one of the guest collectors is a locket that would look perfect on this chain. This is low carat gold or gold filled, and it's very authentic to find one, and lucky if you can find one with an original slide on it. See the slide? That is opal. It's in that kind of mystical crescent moon. See how it slides? And that adjusts the length of this chain. Here's the clasp. That's an authentic Victorian watch fob clasp. It's like a dog collar clasp. And you can use the fob to change the length of the chain, and you can hang your own locket from it or whatever. And I'll show you the back of the slide too. That's what that looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Their opals were so nice back then. Those are split seed pearls, natural, not cultured. And just a lovely watch fob, still perfectly intact altogether, and that's the authentic watch fob. Now I'm going to show you Victorian Revival watch fob. So this is still fabulous and still valuable. This is 1960s. This is made by Trafari in the Victorian style. So this is the latest Victorian Revival I've ever seen in the late 60s. It's that gorgeous bronze that Trafari did not do too much in, and it is kind of an exaggerated version. It is signed. Where's the clasp? Here it is. Here's the signature. And this actually does move. See? So you could really be creative with it. You know, what I would often do is I would find kind of a military style brooch and then put it on as a necklace and hang the brooch like that. I think that's really cool. And then you can layer on crystals and pearls and things. And this is late 1960s Trafari, Victorian Revival. Most Victorian Revival was done in the 1940s. So it's a nice example to show you something later. Number two is a piece from a guest collector. This is the Sassy Poet, and it is a gorgeous, authentic Victorian rose gold locket. And this is marked with a 9 and a 375. It's rose gold. It's a mourning piece. It has the lock of hair from the beloved. The larger ring is not gold, but the rest of the locket is, and it opens up by unscrewing the piece located within the smaller ring. And it's $150, including shipping. And her information, you can email her. It's the sassypoet@hotmail.com. This is number 3, and this is actually authentic Victorian, and it's such a good example to show you. This is the part where you learn something new. If you were to spot this and look at it closely and see the closure, you might think it's Victorian Revival just because they're so rare to see. It actually has a snap closure. Did you know that snaps were invented in 1885? So there is some Victorian jewelry. I've mostly seen the chokers that are have clasps of snaps sewn into the ribbon part of the choker. I've seen only one bracelet before as an example. That's what the back of it looks like, right? And it's absolutely gorgeous. This is a gold filled, look at the patina on the braid. It's all flatly woven gold braid, and it has the tassel with the faux turquoise and glass ruby. There's what the back looks like, and then it has the safety chain and the cameo, and here's the snap. Can you see that? Look at that. That is the old style snap. And you have to realize when you look at this that if it was Victorian Revival, the trendiest, most common Victorian Revival is from the 1940s. And by then they would have had another kind of closure. So this is an authentic, early authentic Victorian with the snap closure. And it's really beautiful. I love the color of that gold. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that tassel. This is number 4. This I have to get looked at by a jeweler. It's so delicate that I don't want to test the gold purity myself. I want someone else to do it. This is the only piece I have ever seen like this in my life. At first it looks like the canetelle work, the wire work, but then if you look inside here, this is where you would normally see a lock of hair or something, but it's actually gold wire in the form of a flower that imitates this. So it's almost like quill or quilling, but with gold wire. And the beads are still intact, which is amazing to me. There's not one dent in them, but they're really, really delicate. Look how beautiful this is. And you can see through the pendant. See that? It's really pretty. And the thing about this is also, I'm going to show you next the Victorian Revival version of it. See that? It almost looks like it could be 1930s Chanel or something, because it has that feel to it, but it is authentic Victorian. I'll show you the earrings that give it away. These are the earrings, and this wire with the piece attached is just very typical of what those look like. And if any of you know anything about this or have come across it before, I would love your input. Look how, isn't it beautiful? I love it so much. I have no idea about the gold content or anything, but it's obviously hand done. And that is authentic Victorian. And now, just for fun, I know this could have a category all its own because it's vintage Chanel, but she was heavily influenced by the Victorian period and the nuns of the Victorian period. And this is extremely iconic. This is actually the Magnifying glass necklace. And you can see how similar it is when I hold it up, right? Actually, this is even later than the 1970s Trifari. So this is probably the most modern Victorian Revival. You can see it's a lasting style, and it's definitely worth collecting, and it holds its value. And of course, the Chanel is in a category of its own. Isn't that incredible? These are rare. If you're a collector, these don't come up very often. Number 5 is from a guest collector, and it is a book chain necklace, and here it is. And this is a gold-filled ornate book chain necklace with a hardstone cameo. It's circa 1880s. The necklace closes in the front with a box clasp that attaches to the pendant. And if you are interested in that, it's $125, and that is Kelly, and the email is kelly.stiver@gmail.com. This is number 6, and I wear this as a bracelet, but it's actually a fob ornament, and this is kind of macabre but fabulous. It's almost occult. You know, they were mourning a lot back then, and this is all the good luck symbols in enamel. We have the number 13 We have the elephant with his trunk up. We have the black cat, the four-leaf clover. Here's the four-leaf clover. I don't know what the pig means, but it's fabulous, and I wear that as a bracelet. Number 7 is a Victorian belt buckle that I absolutely love. It's from Jen's collection, and it's so beautiful. Look at the height of this. An antique clear glass belt buckle, and this is a beautiful Victorian belt buckle with the carved clear glass sort of floral shapes, and that is $65, and her email is jenprosa@gmail.com. It is at the bottom of the screen. The other pieces from her will be number 8, and these are brooches, and they are Victorian and Victorian Revival, and you can see the difference here. The wreath is an actual scroll design. I believe it to be real Victorian, and the shield is probably 1980s. That's garnet and ruby. The brooch with the oval onyx, it is signed BOMA. Both of those are signed BOMA 925, so they're approximately 1980s. And if you're interested in buying those, again, her email is jenprosa@gmail.com. And the pins, you can ask her if she will sell them to you all together or separately, and they are about $25 to $30 each. Then finally, we have numbers 9 and 10. Here they are. This is Victorian Revival, and this is actual Victorian. And this is beautiful. This is a mourning pin. The bluebird was a symbol of eternity, I believe. It was very prevalent in mourning jewelry. And these are Persian turquoise, and they're really beautiful. And then these are actually 1940s Victorian Revival, which is the most common. And you can find these in authentic Victorian, these little lovely snowflake pins, but they're usually real, and they're made with seed pearls or diamonds. And these are just little good crystals, and then you can recognize that they are Victorian Revival because the back. You see that? They're swedged. These kind of rivets, that's called swedging, right? So these are swedged, and you can see here that one. And these are not a perfect match. They're nice together. They're sort of scatter pins. So that's Victorian Revival. If you want to find out more and do a deeper dive into Victorian and Victorian Revival jewelry, I have a longer video that you can watch right here. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, ring the bell, and let me know how you feel about showcasing guest collections. Thanks again.